Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another edition of our Workout Fridays that we've been doing consistently for so many weeks. That is the one thing we've been able to do consistently, and I'm just so happy about that. So let's try to get into it. Today is Friday, and interestingly enough, today is day 99 of this journey, which means that tomorrow is day 100 if my calculations are correct. And this whole week has been one filled with introspection, if you will. Because, I don't know, does that ever happen to you guys where you have some kind of milestone or birthday? I don't know. I've always been these sort of dates that have a certain level of symmetry create, I don't know, big moments for me, or I feel a lot of pressure around them. They become more significant than perhaps, they should be. I don't know. I don't know if they should or should not be, but they become significant for me in terms of it's a way to measure life. I don't know. And you guys know that I'm a big numbers nerd, and so this milestone, day 100, feels big, and I feel like I can't believe that we've had this much time already. And then at the same time, I feel like I haven't really accomplished much in terms of these 100 days. I know I have, I'm just giving myself a hard time, always do. But yeah, so this whole week, as you guys have seen, it's not been the most purposeful, I guess. And I have been doing shorter updates, daily updates, because I've needed this time to just reevaluate everything, reevaluate this that we're doing, and trying to figure out how to move forward from here in a way that is meaningful for you guys, a way that is meaningful for me, how to recommit to the process. I don't know. And I feel the need, almost like the need to apologize for these sort of shorter videos. But before I get carried away, let's just get started with the first set. And then we can go ahead and continue this conversation, because otherwise we'll be here all day. So let's do this. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's a part of me that feels the need to start this process with like an apology, like, sorry guys for the short updates the last few days. I don't know. I don't think that I need to apologize for anything. But isn't it weird that I feel the need to apologize for making shorter videos? I think that comes from a feeling of commitment and feeling like somehow I'm letting you guys down, because my commitment to the process has wavered a little bit. I haven't been giving it 110%, more like 40%. And so I think that's where that need to apologize comes from. But yeah, this whole week, like, I'm going through the motions. I'm trying to stay the course, but most of the week most of the energy, the mental energy, has been spent on some of the projects that I have going on here, but maybe more of the effort that I would be putting into the videos. I have been thinking about the future of the channel, the next phase, if you will. And that's all, thanks to this coming milestone of 100 days. It has been difficult to nail down the specifics. It's all very broad strokes, very vague ideas, but there isn't a lot of specificity. And if some of you guys are more, I guess, neurodivergent in that way, you might understand how we have such a difficult time with specificity. Grand ideas, fuck yeah. But the specifics of like how to go from A to B, oh, no, that is a daunting task. You know, can we solve world hunger? Of course, we can do that. We'll take one afternoon and just figure it out. But could we figure out like a food drive for a homeless shelter? No, that is too difficult. It is not possible to do that. The logistics are impossible. So, all right, next set. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. But I think that I have some, or at least the main theme of it, and I shall be revealing it tomorrow. We are going to do episode 100 right. But I can give you, I guess, like a sneak peek of some of the coming things, I guess, changes. And there's one that I'm very excited about. I'm a little nervous and I'm excited. I don't know what percentage of excitedness versus anxiety and nervousness, but I don't know if you guys know, I didn't, that Argentina has, how would I say this? As part of their cultural identity in general, has a very strong emphasis on mental health and psychotherapy, psychology and psychotherapy. And it has, if I read that right and I remember it correctly, like the most therapists per capita of any place in the world, of any country in the world. And so as of this coming Monday, I shall be restarting therapy, I guess. I have done lots of therapy in the past, but I am restarting psychotherapy as of Monday. You know, it's the first time I'm going to be meeting with my hopefully new therapist. So whether or not he will be my therapist long term remains to be seen based on how our first meeting goes. But I'm happy to do it. I've been wanting to get back into therapy, and it's just interesting that getting back into therapy can help so many people, yet being so overwhelmed with life can prevent you from taking the step, or taking that first step that will get you back into therapy, which would be the thing that could help you. And so one of the things that I'm excited about is that he has a background in music and has worked with artists. And I believe he's now a college professor here. But he also keeps a small private practice. And luckily, through a referral, I was able to get in. And I'm very excited about that, because something that I think I really need. And I think that to help me manage the psychological aspects of this new phase of this really just ginormous project, which is losing over 150 pounds is. And so I am excited for this new development, and that's the sneak peek that I can give you guys as to the things that are to come from all this. All right. "21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And yeah, that is one of the first things that was clear to me as I was starting to put all of this together was I probably could use a little more support in the mental health aspect of this. And so that is one of the first things that when I started putting this sort of plan together and started thinking about it, that was a key point. And let's see, what else can I share with you guys at this moment? I have been looking at, I guess I need to, I haven't said anything. I'm already correcting myself. Oh, that's silly. As part of this effort, and because I've always been sort of a nerd in that way, because I love data, I've collected a lot of data over the last 100 days with the Oura Ring in terms of like sleep and daily activity, and with the Lumen, metabolism, my weight when I was back in the US. I haven't really used the Lime that much here, the scale that looks like a lime. But consistently, I have continued to use my blood pressure monitor. And so I have collected a lot of data. And as part of this reimagining of the channel and of my process, and the way that I hope to recommit to the process and make it even better to stick with it and continue to make progress. I've been poring over that data. I've been reviewing it, analyzing it. There's probably some procrastination going on in there because I could get lost in data and never come up with the real anything. And so I've asked Yolima to sort of keep an eye on me and keep me in check when I'm maybe procrastinating a little too much. And she deals with it a little bit as well, but not as much as me. So it's easier for her to keep an eye on me. And it's just interesting to see, like, when you have that much data, like all the trends that start developing over time. And so even though I was like making an effort to be active in the US the first weeks that we were there, nothing compared to here. Fuck. I mean, like just being here, just living in the city and walking everywhere and taking public transportation already increases daily activity levels by so much, as opposed to living in the suburbs in the US and driving everywhere. Like that alone makes such a difference. It's crazy to me. Like you have to make more of an effort to be active in the US because we drive so much everywhere. All right, next set. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. And so, for the most part, I've been meeting my daily activity goal, which one of the cool things about the Oura Ring is that it gives me based on how I slept. Like, I guess I can explain a little bit how it works if you don't know how it works. The Oura Ring, which is this little guy that I have, it's just a ring. And I wear it here because technically they want you to wear it on your index finger, but the biggest size they have is a 13, and my finger is so fat that the size 13 doesn't fit here nor here. I have to use it here, which is their least preferred way of wearing it, but is the only one that fits me. So, but basically, it works like an Apple Watch or like one of those activity trackers that you wear on your wrist. I have never been a person to wear things like jewelry or anything like that. I've never been very comfortable with it. I just think that it's too much. Not that it looks bad or anything, I actually like the look of accessorizing. I just can never do it. And so I tried wearing an Apple Watch for a while, and I don't know, it didn't stick with me. And I've never worn rings, so the idea of wearing a ring wasn't very appealing to me, but I discovered that the ring is minimalist enough, like it's little enough that I can put up with it, especially for the benefits. And so for the most part, I'm okay with the ring. And let me do another set and we'll continue talking about the ring. One, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. And so this works in much the same way as an Apple Watch or any activity tracker in terms of the tracking. I would say that it is inferior in terms of tracking activity to most activity trackers like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit or something that you wear on your wrist. It does track it, and it tracks heart rate in the finger, which is pretty good. That's usually how hospitals do it. They measure some of these things on your finger as opposed to the wrist. Now, I don't know that there's a huge difference, but it does measure that. But the main thing for me when I got it, and it's almost maybe 2 years ago, the main thing for me was the sleep tracking, but not just that, not just the sleep tracking, but the blood oxygen sensing that it had. And this is before the Apple Watch could do it. I think it was one of the few that could do it, and especially with something as small as a ring. And it makes sense because when they measure your blood oxygen, they usually do it in the finger. Like in the hospital when they put that thing, like little clamp on your finger. And so since I have sleep apnea, pretty severe sleep apnea, and I sleep with a CPAP machine, it was attractive for me to be able to sense my blood oxygen overnight. And I was very happy. I mean, the CPAP machine does give you an idea if your therapy is working or not, but if the machine says it's good and then the blood oxygen levels are optimal, then you're good. And then also you can feel it like when you wake up. So in that way, that is pretty good. And that's one of the reasons that I got it. But something that I like that I didn't know when I got it is that it basically measures if you've been active during the day, how much of the time your heart rate is elevated, how much of it you're doing activity, how much of it is at rest. It measures your sleep. And so it also measures the cycles of sleep, stages. So when you're in light sleep and REM sleep or deep sleep and all that. And then based on all those things, based on how you slept and all that, then the next day it gives you a target for how much activity you should be doing, how many active calories you should be burning. And it also gives you your basal metabolic rate based on, your age and your height and your weight and all of those things. And it basically gives you a target for the exercise. And so that, again, gives me an idea of how much I should be exercising. All of these things, for someone like me who can be such an extremist and sometimes not know how to do very simple things, because it really is, I have such a difficult time, and probably some of you do too, having such a difficult time with very simple concepts that are a little ambiguous and a little, there's some wiggle room. It's not exact. It's not an exact science. And people like me have such a difficult time with something like that. We like certainty. We like, things that just do, like my OCD, my obsessive compulsive disorder, dislikes when something that's supposed to make a click, when you push it, doesn't make the right click. And it can be very unnerving if it didn't do the right thing, because we like that, exactitude. Is that even a word? And so doing something like, well, how much you should be exercising and how much, like you should be eating this and that. It's such a difficult concept because it's just too ambiguous. It's too open to interpretation, I guess, in a way. And the more science advances, the more we discover that really each body is absolutely unique, and what works for somebody will not work for another person. And so, all right, what was that? 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. And so, this is one of the ways where I'm helping myself by measuring and getting an idea of how things are moving along. And it will remain a crucial part of this journey as we move into day 100 and beyond. And honestly, for all we know, day 100 might just be the very beginning of this journey, because it is a lot of fucking weight that we have to lose. You guys, 150 pounds is no joke. And so it has been extremely important for me to be able to measure progress and make sure that things are moving in the right direction, because otherwise my brain doesn't get on board. Logically it should, but emotionally it won't. And so it likes to optimize, making sure that we're moving in the right direction, otherwise it won't move, because what if we're moving in the wrong direction? I wonder what series of events over how many generations, hundreds, maybe thousands of generations, like what had to happen to reinforce that behavior in my biology, my specific genetic code. "61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. 70. I haven't eaten much today. Feeling a little weak. So I should have filmed, but everything was a little hectic earlier, and Jorima had to leave, and we were trying to get things done. And so I decided to cook some pork. She said, we should make some pork for lunch. And I wanted to get something that's called a bondiola, which is basically like a pork shoulder and neck. It's like this area, if I remember correctly, from the pork. But anyway, it's a very flavorful cut of pork here, and they usually cut it so it's easy to cook. Very flavorful. It's got enough fat, just good. But they didn't have it, and so they had something they called pechito, which I'm assuming, based on the name, that is the sort of like the pechito, like the pectoral, I guess, pecs, the chest area. I don't know if it's from here, or I guess it must be from here, because otherwise it would be the back. But it takes longer to cook, and so I ended up making sort of like almost like a pulled pork type thing. Kind of chopped it up and then cooked it with some onions and garlic, and then a bunch of orange juice and water, basically, and some salts and some seasoning and stuff like that. But orange juice and some water, and then just boiled the shit out of it for like 3 hours. And that's what we're gonna be having for lunch. Smells delicious. And I'm excited for that. But I didn't film it. That's what I was getting to. Because we're trying to get moving. And it's interesting how quickly you fall out of practice with this. Like at some point when I don't feel like I was more like, it was almost like an instinct. Grab the camera, get it going, like, all these things. And the last few days have been a little bit out of practice. Like you guys know, my motivation hasn't been in there as much. And so you fall out of practice. You don't have that quick response. And it's later on like, I should have filmed this. But then I didn't think about it, and then my hands are kind of dirty, and you guys know I'm weird with that shit. And so like, if I were to like go wash my hand to get recorded, like it just too complicated for someone like me. All right, let's keep going. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. And so I didn't film it, but basically, so we got 3 kilos of, so it's like almost like 6 pounds of this pork. And it had some bones in it from like the chest, like they looked like ribs. And so maybe that's what it was. It was pork ribs, maybe? I don't know. So chopped it. We did some onions and garlic and sort of like cooked that in some ghee. Added the pork, added the orange juice, and then added some seasoning, like seasoning. It's one of those package thingies that it's like mushroom flavored, I guess. And some rice vinegar, some fish sauce, a good amount of fish sauce. What else did we do? The orange juice, of course, some water. That's basically it. Didn't really add that many things. And just cooked a lot of it. And basically everything that was on the bones fell completely off the bone, which, you know it's good. You know exactly what that means. But now I don't know. Julima's going to get back and I don't know what to make it with. I don't know what to make it with. Like it's just pork. We need some veggies or something to go with it. Two, 83, 4, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. One more set, you guys. One more set. This feels difficult today, but it's probably because I haven't eaten muffin. And one more. We can do it. We're almost there. We are almost there. Almost there. Last set. $91, $92, $93, $94, $95, $96, $97, $98, $99, $100. All right. And now let's grab our dumbbells and do our little, 3 sets of 20. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Woo! Ooh, that burns. That burns in the arms. Ah. I still don't know how there are people who enjoy this. I haven't got to the part where working out feels good. Not there yet. "21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Ugh. It's a race against time now, guys, because Jolima's going to walk in at any moment ready for dinner. Ready for din-din. And she didn't take her keys, so I have to go open the door. All right, last set, and I bet she's gonna ring as we're doing this. 1, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, fuck, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Yay! We did it before she got home. Didn't have to cut it short or anything. Okay. Thank you for working out with me. I'm going to wait for her, and then I'll show you guys what lunch ends up being. But again, thank you so much for working out today. All right, and now that it's time for lunch, look at this. We have our pork, which really does look amazing. Let me just bring it closer to the light. I mean, there is a lot of pork in here, so we're gonna have some leftovers. Even like the bones, look how clean they are. And so, and then we decided to boil some potatoes and make like a little mashed potato thingy. So we will be having pulled pork with mashed potatoes. But I mean, I didn't even have to pull it, basically, like it fell apart while cooking. So, all right, I'll finish cooking and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, and here we are. Look at this. Some mashed potatoes and basically this pulled pork. And that is what we're having for lunch. I'm pretty sure the pork is absolutely delicious. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty insane. Excellent. All right, we're gonna eat, and we're going out tonight. So I will try to share as much as I can, and see you guys later.